Okay, so now we were going to find let's try to read it. Find the 16th term and the nth term of the sequence 1, 5, 9, and 13, so on and so forth. So we're going to find the 16th term and the nth term. Okay, so now we're going to find 2. Let's focus first on the 16th term. This is very easy. But first, let's try to inspect our sequence. The thing here is for you to first find if that sequence is really arithmetic. How do you do that again? A sequence is arithmetic if and only if it has a common difference. So you just have to look if this has a common difference. How do you do that again? It's just text match previews. Therefore, it becomes 5 minus 1 is 4. All of the gaps there are differences should be 4. 9 minus 5, 4, and then 4. Therefore, it's correct. This sequence is really arithmetic. Now, since we're talking about the 16th term, we're going to this is actually the we're going to find the nth term. So therefore, we will be using the 19 formula. Again, if you will be solving for a specific terms in an arithmetic sequence, you have to use a 19, okay? And that is just what? A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1, or a 19. Now, of course, you have to, earlier we solved that your d is 4. Now, we just have to find n. N here is what? What is n? We're going to find first the 16th term. So n is 16. A sub 1 is what? What's the leading term here? Which one is, of course, obvious it's 1 because it is what? Mentioned first. As simple as that. 1. Your d here is what? D is earlier 4. Okay. And that's it. Maybe we solve for it. A sub, then star substitute. And then therefore we have what? A sub 16 is equal to 1. A sub 1 is 1 plus n minus 1. So therefore it becomes 16 minus 1 times 4. And then this becomes 1 plus 15 times 4. Baby steps, guys. 1 plus 16 minus 1 times 4. So therefore, you just have to bring down 15 here. 16 minus 1, 15. And then times 4 and then plus 1. Therefore, 15 plus times 4 is 60. And then plus 1 is 61. Therefore, your 16th term is 61. I'm sorry. 61 is your A sub 16. Simple, right? Just have to substitute it, but the difference that we have here is that we need to find the common difference here because the given here is a sequence, not just compared to the previous examples that we had, it is not given in a sequence. Okay? Now, let's now find the nth term. So in this case, this will be a bit more algebraic. Since we're going to find the nth term, you remember our discussion on general term, right? So it is similar as that. You just have to find the general term for this sequence. So now we're going to find the nth term. Finding the nth term. If in here, if you have 16, if the given n is a number, you will be solving for a number. But since n is a variable, then you will be arriving with an equation. So the expected answer here is an equation. That's the expected answer. Okay, so now we have to find an equation that would be having the n, that will be defining the nth term of this sequence. How do we do that? We also have to apply a 19 formula. So it's what? A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay? And now, since our n term is not explicitly stated, it's just like a 16, so you just have 16. In this case, n is n. Okay, so therefore you don't have to change anything with here. So therefore you will be writing a sub n equals a sub 1 here. We will be using the same set of no, except for n, of course. We'll be using a sub 1 is 1 and then d is 4. Therefore a sub 1 here is 1 plus n minus 1 times the difference here is 4. So now we have this particular equation. Now, you can see here that this could be still simplified, this portion, and then added to 1. So therefore, this becomes a sub n is equal to 1 plus, you just have to distribute your 4 here to n to negative 1. So that becomes what? 4 times n is 4n. And then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Again, how do we do that? You just have to distribute your d here. Because your n is not stated, therefore you retain n here. Therefore it's n. And for you to get the simplified equation, this could be the answer, but it's not yet simplified. For you to get the simplified equation, you have to distribute 4 to both, which will give you what? A sub n. And then, as you can see, 1 and negative 4 could be added. So therefore, it becomes what? Let's just rearrange it. Sorry, 4n. And then 1 minus 4 is negative 3. How do we do that? Baby steps. Minus 4. This one. Kinopy lang. We won't be changing any sign because hindi naman tayo naglipat ng kabilang side ng equation. Nilipat lang, ni-rearrange lang natin siya, commutative. Okay? So this is addition. And then, plus 1. So nilipat lang natin yung plus dito and then yung 1 dito. No need to change anything, any sign. We only change sign if you will be transferring to the other side of the equation. Pag tumawid na siya ng negative sign. Okay? Para ma-retain yung properties of equality. Now, this becomes a sub n equals 4n minus 3. Negative 4 plus 1. You cannot, of course, you cannot subtract this anymore. So therefore, this is fine now. So it's like just simplifying algebraic equations. So you just have to simplify. Okay? So again, so therefore the 16th term is 61. The nth term is a sub n. Sorry, this should be a sub 16 equals 61, and then this becomes a sub n equals 4n minus 3. So that's it. That is your final answer. Okay? So again, if you will be solving for a specific term, a numerical term, you will be expecting a numerical answer. But if you will be asked to solve for the nth term, you're expected to have an equation just like this one. Okay? But we will be discussing another example. Okay, so we have here the next example, which is find the 20th term and the nth term of 6 to negative 2, negative 6, etc. Okay, now, the first things first, investigate if the sequence is really arithmetic. So how do you do that? Again, find if there is a presence of a common difference. The common difference is solved by, again, next minus previous. So next. 6 minus 4, 2 minus 6 is, 2 minus 6 is negative 4, negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4, negative 6 minus 2 is negative 4. So therefore, it is really an arithmetic sequence because we have an observable common difference which is negative 4. So we already have the D. Now, if we're going to solve for the 20th term, so again here, 20th, first star, simplest substitution will be done. So therefore, it becomes a sub 20, right? Since, sorry. So a sub 20 is unknown. Your a sub 1 here is what? Of course, it's 6. It is stated first. And then your common difference here, according to our formula or our solution, is negative 4. So therefore, we just have to substitute it. It becomes a sub 20 equals what? A sub 1 is no, let's just copy first the formula. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1. N minus 1 times d. And then, therefore, we have a sub 20 equals a sub 1 is actually 6. And then plus, your n here is obviously 20 minus 1 times the common difference which is negative 4. So therefore, this becomes a sub 20 equals what? 6 plus 19 times negative 4. Okay, again, we have a presence of a negative number here. Okay? Now, we will be having what? A sub 20 equals 6. What is 19 times 4? 19 times 4 is 19 times 4 is 76. So negative 76. Don't forget the negative sign. It's really important unless otherwise your answer will be incorrect. So that's 19 times negative 4 is negative 76. And then a sub 20 will be negative 70. So that is your, that's it. That's your a sub 20. So 20th term. Is it correct? Again, a neat formula, a sub 20. 6 is your a sub 1 plus 20 minus 1. Let me just check if I copied the correct sequences. Okay. And then 20 minus 1 is 19 times negative 4 is negative 76 plus 6 is negative 70. So therefore, your a sub 20 or your 20th term is negative 70. Okay? Clear? Now, let's now solve for the nth term. The nth term. Again, for the nth term, we're going to expect to have an equation as our final answer. And here we have the numerical answer. So now, for the nth term, we have the doubles. Let's double our asterisk. Therefore, the nth term will be what? Copy first the a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. And then, since this is the nth term, you don't have to, you don't have any substitute to n. It's retained. It's just n. Okay. Therefore, this becomes a sub n equals a sub 1 is actually 6, right? We have here. We'll be using the same here. 6 and negative 4 plus n is retained, and then minus 1 and then times negative 4. Okay. Now, okay, this becomes, so we have to deal with this particular equation. This is already the answer, but we need to simplify it. This is not acceptable, okay? Because we technically just substituted it. We have a sub n equals 6 plus, you have to distribute again negative 4. So distribute, you multiply it to both components. Then that becomes negative 4n and then plus 4. Again, negative 4 times n is negative 4n. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. And then plus 6. 6 plus negative 4n plus 4. Okay? Now, this and then we just have to rearrange, just like what we did in the previous example. Negative 4n plus 4 and then plus 6. Just have to transfer it here. Therefore, it's negative 4n plus 10. It's a sub n. Okay, that is it. So therefore, the 20th term is negative 70, and then the nth term is this. A sub n equals negative 4n plus 10. Okay, so that's it. So those are the examples on how you can apply this particular formula. For the next one, we will be dealing with fractions. Okay. Okay, so now let's find the 8th term and then the nth term of the sequence 5, 14 over 3, 13 over 3, and then negative 4. Again, first things first, we need to find if this is actually an arithmetic sequence. Now, pause this video and try to solve for the common difference. Okay. If your answer is negative 1/3 for the common difference, then you are right. Therefore, this is really arithmetic because the common difference is negative 1/3, negative 1/3, and negative 1/3. Okay? Now, we just need to find the 8th term. So, this technically will be giving you a sub 8 is equal to what? Your a sub 1 here, sorry, let's just write again the form I need so that you will not forget. This becomes a sub 8 because we're looking for the 8th term equals a sub 1 here is 5 plus your n here is actually 8 because we're looking for the 8th term minus 1 times the common difference which is negative 1/3. Okay, so try to investigate on that, and then we have what? We have a sub 8 is equal to 5 plus what? 7 times negative 1/3. Okay, so you can see we'll be having 5 plus negative 7 over 3, which will give you 5 minus 7 over 3. Just have this here. Therefore, if we have an LCD of 3, that's 15 minus 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 7. Please do me a favor. Recall your fractions. I will be providing you with videos regarding fractions. We cannot just go back to this. I will be providing you elementary examples on how to solve for fractions, okay? How to subtract fractions. Therefore, we will be having 15 minus 7 is technically 8 over 3. So that is your 7, that is your 8th term. 8 sub 8. Okay, so there. Now, let's now solve for the nth term. Okay, let me just erase this so it will be having enough space. Again, this is 8 over 3. Again, it is still a night need, but in this case, n is not explicitly stated, therefore we just have to solve for the nth term. So that's a sub n is equal to a sub 1 is 5, and then plus n since we don't have anything, and then d is negative 1/3. As you can see here, it has now become a fraction. Okay, now therefore this becomes 5. A sub n equals 5, and then plus, distribute your negative 1/3 here to n and then to negative 1. This becomes negative 1/3 n plus 1/3. Okay, so that's it. So you just have to simplify this to become a sub n equals negative 1/3 n plus 1/3 plus 5. But now we still have to add this 2. Therefore, you can have a sub n equals negative 1/3 n. I hope this can still be seen in the frame. Plus, just have to repeat what we did earlier. 3, 1 plus 15. Therefore, this becomes a sub n equals negative 1/3 n plus 16 over 3. This is already acceptable, but you may combine the 3 here for us to have a sub n equals negative 1n is just negative n plus 16 over 3. If you will be having this answer, it's okay, but you can simplify it to have this one as the final answer, okay? So those are the examples that we have for applying arithmetic sequence, okay? So the next videos will be tackling about problems involving arithmetic sequence, okay?